Hey you guys, so tonight I'm making some spring rolls. I'm using this spring roll pastry. So I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is to do at home and extremely tasty. My friend taught me how to make these, so I'm going to show you guys. Alright, so what I have in my bowl here, I have like 1/4 of a large onion and 2 large cloves of garlic, minced. You can add more garlic if you want. You can add more onion. It's all depending on you. Okay, I also have some cilantro here. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up and add to this bowl really quick. Alright you guys, so I have my cilantro cut up. So cilantro is optional. If you don't like cilantro, absolutely don't have to add it. But I love it, and that's what we're gonna add. So here I have about 2 pounds of ground pork. So what I'm going to do is get this put in a bowl, and then we'll put everything together. And don't worry, I'll have all the ingredients and instructions in the description below. Okay, so I have my pound of ground pork. I'm just going to break it up a little bit. And it's so easy to throw together, so I'm gonna just go ahead and dump in my onions and garlic mixture. If you don't like to chop up garlic, you can just buy the one in the jar and use that. I'm gonna throw in my cilantro. Okay, let's go ahead and mix that all together. This is like my favorite spring roll filling recipe, just because it's so good. My friend from the Philippines taught me how to make this a while ago when I first got married, and I've kept it ever since. And I share this with my family so they can learn how to do it, because they love it too. If you find like a big chunk of onion like that, you probably don't want that, so I'm gonna take that out. So I'm gonna leave that like that for a minute. I'm gonna show you the rest of the stuff we need. Okay, so now we have our onion. We have our ground pork, onion, garlic, and cilantro. We are going to add 2 eggs. So it's 1 egg per pound of meat. So I have 2 pounds. Excuse my kids in the back. I'm gonna do 2 eggs so everything can stick together. So I'm gonna crack those in there, and then we're gonna throw in some cabbage. Now you can chop up cabbage and carrots and all that stuff if you want, if you like it, but I just use this. It's coleslaw. It's already pre-made. It's already basically has cabbage, carrots, and some red cabbage. So I just go ahead and throw as much of this in as I want, and it saves me time. I don't have a giant thing of cabbage just sitting around my refrigerator, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some of this in there like so. You can put as much as you want. I usually eyeball it, so we'll leave that like that. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix this together. I'm gonna get this all combined. Okay, so with any recipe, everything is optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to add it. Last main ingredient we're adding is cheese. So you would not believe how lovely it is to have a little cheese in your spring roll. Like, it's so stinking good. So I'm just gonna mix all this in together and combine it all. I still see some egg yolk that needs to get mixed in, so I'm gonna get this all mixed up. For seasonings, you can add salt and pepper to taste, as much as you basically want. I'm gonna add some seasoning salt. Excuse my kids, I can never make a video without them acting wild and crazy. So anyway, I'm just gonna mix this in. Now the way you test if you have enough salt is you just take a little bit of this and you fry it on the pan until it's fully cooked, and then you taste it, and if it needs more salt, you add a little more salt. Okay, that's how I do it. That's how I was taught how to do it. Okay. All right, so I added seasoning salt. I added black pepper so far. You can also add onion powder and garlic powder if you have it. Okay, but if you don't sweat it. You don't have to do that. Onion powder and garlic powder is something that I usually add, but you don't have to add it, but I do. So a little onion, because I usually add onion and garlic powder to everything I cook. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna mix this all up, and then what I'm gonna do is fry a little piece on the pan and see if it is seasoned enough. And if it is, then we will start rolling up our spring rolls. Alright, so I have a spoonful of mixture that I'm just gonna drop in the pan. Okay, we're just gonna let this fry. I put a little oil in the pan as well. I'm gonna just go ahead and let this fry until it's fully cooked. I'm gonna taste it and make sure it has enough seasoning. Okay, you guys, so my meat mixture is pretty much cooked. Alright, so basically this is what it would look like. I kind of broke it up because it kind of got stuck to my pan, as you can see, but usually it'll stick together if you use like a non-stick pan or whatever. But I'm just gonna go ahead and taste this and see if we're ready to roll. Okay, you guys, so I just tasted my filling. It is ready to go. It has such good flavor, plenty seasoned. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is, and now we're about to roll. So I'm just gonna put this aside for a second so I can show you guys what we have. So, okay, so I have water. Okay, sorry. So I have some water. You can choose to use egg to seal your spring rolls, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use water. So I have a little bowl of water. I have these spring roll wrappers. Let me zoom out. Okay. So I have these spring roll wrappers. I usually get the mini ones. I like the mini ones much better. They come in like a 50 pack. These are the larger ones, and they come in a 20 pack. So I have 2 packs. 1 pound of meat usually does 20 large ones, or about 40 to 50 small ones, depending how much meat you put in to your wrapper. Okay, so I ended up sending my husband to get them, and he brought me the big ones. So we're just gonna work with the big ones. So what I'm gonna do is get this open. So I'm gonna cut this open real quick and then get started. Okay guys, so these are what the spring rolls the wrappers look like when you take them out of the package. They're really thin, so you have to be careful when you're pulling them off. So this is how thin they are. So go ahead and just don't go too fast, because you can rip it. So just go ahead and pull one off.
I have an oven too.
Yes, you can. Here. Okay, so now that we have our wrapper pulled up, we're just going to take a spoonful of our mixture. So I'm going to show you the size of a spoon that I have. Okay, so I'm just going to take a spoonful. You can put as much as you want though. Okay, this might be too much. I might take a little off. So we're just going to take a spoonful. Okay, and then you're just going to take the corner and tuck it in. And when you roll it together as tightly as you can. Okay, so make sure it's really tight and not loose, because if it's loose, it will come apart. Okay, so usually at this part I'll put water on the sides. Oops. I'll go ahead and put some water on the sides so we can get sealing, and then I'll fold it in. Okay, fold it over like so, and then continue rolling it really tight. Okay, just add a little more, make sure we have enough. Okay, and that's it. Okay, you have your spring roll. Okay, so you can just put this on a plate or some kind of dish while you get them all ready and wait for it to be fried. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do one more. I'm just gonna show you one more, and then I'm gonna finish these up and show you how we cook them. Alright, so we got one more. We're gonna go ahead, take our mixture, our spoonful. You can add as little or as much as you like. Okay. So add a little there. Let's take our corner, fold it and tuck it under. Okay, and then roll it really tight, up until about halfway. And once you get about halfway, you put some water on. Okay, go ahead and put your water on, and then you fold the sides in like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. Like I said, if it's not, then they will unravel while you're cooking them. Okay, and you don't want that. Alright, so you can add, just if you don't think it's sealed enough, just add a little water, and that's it. Alright, so I'm going to finish these up, and then I'll be back when I'm all done. Okay. Alright, you guys, so this is about 20 spring rolls done right here. I still have half of my mixture to go, but basically this is how they look when you're done rolling them. I'm gonna start frying these ones. I'm actually gonna freeze this. I'm gonna freeze the rest of this because my other spring roll wrappers, when I took them out of the package, they weren't, something was wrong with them, so I don't have any more. So they came out all wet when they thawed. So these were kind of old, so I'm not gonna use those, but I'm gonna start warming up my oil. I'm gonna warm it to medium, and then once it gets heated up, we'll fry these up. Okay, you guys, so I've already been cooking some, so I have my pan set to medium, like I said, a 6. Okay, I'm just gonna drop these in. Now when these go in, they sink to the bottom, so I will fry them. They'll start to float, and once they float, they're pretty much good to go. But we'll keep them in there. We'll make sure they're fully cooked. We'll fry them up until they're nice golden brown. Okay, so make sure you leave them in until they're nice and golden and brown, and fry it on medium heat, and you'll have perfectly cooked spring rolls. Okay, and I'll show you what these look like when they come out. Alright, you guys, so these are floating now. As you can see, they're getting nice and golden brown. That looks great. I don't know if you can see it. It's not as bright on the camera. I'm gonna put my plate here so you can see it's nice and golden brown, nice and crispy. So we're gonna go ahead and take these out. So I would say cook them anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes or so, if that. And yep, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on my paper napkin, and then I'm gonna cut one open so you can see what the inside looks like. Okay. All right, you guys, let me zoom in. Okay, so these are our spring rolls. They're so, I don't know if you can hear this, they're super crunchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. It's really hot, so I'm just gonna hold it, but you're gonna watch me cut into it. You can hear me cut into it. See how crunchy that is? It's hard to do with that. Woo! So hot, I can barely hold it. Let's see. It is so crunchy and hard, which is exactly how you want them to be. Okay, so this is what the inside looks like. You know your meat is fully cooked. There's no pink. It's nice and brown. Alright, so you guys can serve this over rice. You can serve it as a side. Enjoy it with some sweetened chili sauce or spring rolls. That's how we're going to have it tonight. Alright, hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Let me know what you thought. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.